Andor. I just want to hop on here to give my thoughts on the show now that the series finale has dropped. Spoilers ahead, I guess. I unfortunately have the memory of a goldfish, so I forget character names and motivations and crap, which is pretty important in political dramas like this one. Now, all that being said, this show has been absolutely incredible. Rogue One is probably my second favorite Star Wars product. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, is my favorite. Then all the weirdo fanboys got George Lucas to sell the rights to Disney, aka the Empire, and we got commercialized generic crap with some high quality content sprinkled in. Part of what makes the commercial shit so shitty is the fact that no one ever dies. There aren't any consequences. Or if someone dies and the fans are loud enough about it, they'll just bring the character back so they can squeeze out another focus group written turd. More content, more toys, and the cycle continues. Gotta love capitalism. So, when I watched Rogue One, I had no clue where it was going. Also, I'm not that deep into the Star Wars lore, so I didn't know who was dead, when they died, or where, or who the characters may have been. So, at the end, when basically everyone dies on the beach to get the Death Star plans out, you actually felt it. I actually felt it. The story had a great conclusion. When they announced Andor, I was like, what the fuckity fuck, man? Why do we need a prequel to a standalone movie? It was so ridiculous. Now, I hate to see the greedy conglomerates continue to fill their coffers with unoriginal ideas, but when they get something right, I'll at least admit it. The first season was fantastic, and this second season has been absolutely stunning. From a production standpoint, I wouldn't be mad if it got Emmy nods for stuff like sound design, costume design, set design, props, all that crap. The special effects are really great too. I couldn't really tell when the set ended, where the set ended, and the CGI began a lot of the time, which is fantastic. So often with these big budget productions, they just overuse the CGI and it looks worse than the writing sounds. I don't think anyone really needs Emmy nods for acting or writing. There's just not a lot of material to work with, which is good. The writing is very, very tight. You're not getting long diatribes that pull you in all these different directions. You're centered on what matters, the resistance against the Empire. You get the paranoia of being part of a resistance that's operating silently in an empire that is working to infiltrate it, and that's all you really need. This feels like a solid action spy thriller. We already know where this is all headed, so you don't need 45 different plot twists to keep our ADHD brains engaged. All that being said, Diego Luna does a great job per usual as Cassian Andor. You really get the feeling he's done with the rebellion. He just doesn't see an end in sight. On top of that, he doesn't have the control he desires. He's still following orders from Luthen, played by Stellan Skarsgård, and other generals and stuff. Skarsgård does a great job too. You can't even tell if Luthen is really for the rebellion or if he's just another warmonger happy to keep sacrificing other people. Adria Arjona is perfectly cast as Andor's love. Like, what dude wouldn't want to leave a war and find some planet to go live out your life in peace and quiet with her? This is the problem with these prequels. We already know Andor dies, and this series isn't really going anywhere. But it can still teach a bunch of life lessons, I suppose. You've got Denise Go, I never know how to pronounce that name, and her boyfriend, Kyle Solar, who are officers in the Empire. They play Dedra and Cyril, and they really want to move up the ranks. I still didn't completely understand why Dedra kept Cyril in the dark about what she was doing on, or what he was doing on Gorman. I guess they kind of reveal it in the last 3 episodes that she just didn't completely trust him. Plus, she wanted all the credit, and in the end, that ruthless ambition is what gets her locked up. But also, like, was he some softy that wouldn't have wanted the Empire to slaughter the people of Gorman? When he finds out that's what's happening, he's all pissed at Dedra, and Dedra's like, you didn't seem to mind the promotions. No. So that's the lesson there. The greed and ambition, when uncontrolled, leads folks to do truly horrible shit. In probably my favorite line, Solar ends up getting shot while trying to kill Cassian, with Cassian staring and asking, who are you? Well, Dedra apparently will die in a cell for compromising the Death Star secrets. There was a pretty funny line where the guy who is replacing Dedra, his seeming boyfriend was a double agent working for Luthen. And this new replacement dude is talking to Dedra, trying to get some intel from her. And she's like, your friend was killed. And he's like, he wasn't my friend. And Dedra is just like, yeah, I know how that is. Like, they are definitely psychopaths, but it plays to that old trope of you cut one head off, another will just take its place, or something like that. Told you, my memory sucks, donkey balls. These messages coming from conglomerates like Disney just confuse the hell out of me. Disney can make life exponentially better for so many folks under their umbrella. Workers at their parks, animators, all of the folks further down the totem pole should be receiving much better pay and better benefits, and Disney can absolutely afford it. But instead, they give the executives and the board the lion's share of the money, and for what? So we can get Toy Story 34 and another iteration of a movie they've remade into a live action? It's all so damn confusing. On top of that, people root for the rebellion, but hate when the people the rebels represent in real life. It's all very odd. Like, when you look at Yoda and how hate leads to the dark side, that messaging is so true and so necessary. But then you got folks who say they love those movies, but will still be fans of weirdos like Critical Drinker and his ilk of guys who get on camera and spew hate just for profit. Views, views, views. Hate sells much more than a message of love. That's just the way it is. Maybe one day that'll change. I guess until then I'll just be relieved the Empire puts out products like Andor. In the end, we see Andor has a kid, so the message of hope for the next generation to do better continues on. It's a frustrating message for me, but ultimately all we can do is work hard and hope things improve. Otherwise, what? We just lay down and give up? Seems like a waste of an existence. Originally, they were going to drag this thing on for 5 seasons, I believe. Thank goodness they opted against that. 2 really good seasons are much better than 5 watered-down ones where every season ends with an unnecessary cliffhanger. It's like, we already know everyone dies. Just put them out of their misery already. Jesus. Anyways, that's enough bitching for me today. Deuces! And what now? Oh my god, I'm breaking things.